Ever feel like your Mac's hard drive is just one giant, messy drawer? You've got your work files, personal photos, maybe you want to try out a new macOS beta, and it's all just kind of thrown in there together. So how do you create some separation? Let's dive in and find the smart way to get it done.
So, you want to split up that drive, and the first word that probably pops into your head is partition, right? I mean, it's the classic solution, the one we've all heard about for years. It feels like the obvious thing to do.
But what if I told you that for pretty much any modern Mac user, partitioning is now the wrong choice? That it's actually an outdated and kind of risky way of doing things? Yep, there's a much smarter and, this is key, a much safer way to organize your drive.
So today, we're going to break down the two main ways to divide your storage. We're putting the old way, the partition, head-to-head with the new way, something called an APFS volume. First up, the old-school method, the partition. Think of it like building a permanent, solid brick wall inside your hard drive. You decide that, say, 100 gigabytes of space is for one thing, and that space gets locked away behind that wall. It can only be used for that one purpose, even if the rest of your drive is totally empty.
Okay, now let's look at the modern approach, the APFS volume. This is part of Apple's newer file system, APFS, and it was designed specifically for the fast, solid-state drives in today's Macs. And it's a completely different game. Instead of a solid wall, it's more like a flexible divider. And here's the magic. All your volumes, your main Macintosh HD, and any new ones you create can all dip into the same shared pool of free space. It's completely dynamic. And that right there brings us to the most important part of this whole thing. Understanding this one critical difference in how these two methods manage your precious drive space, well, it's going to change how you organize your Mac forever.
Let's just put them side by side. The APFS volume is flexible, it shares its free space, and it is dramatically safer and faster to create. This is, without a doubt, the modern recommended way. The partition, on the other hand, is rigid. It permanently locks space away. The whole process is slower and even carries a real risk of data loss. It's just the old, outdated way. Here's a great way to think about it. A partition is like giving everyone their own small, locked filing cabinet in a huge storage room. Once your little cabinet is full, that's it. You can't use any other space, even if the rest of the room is totally empty. An APFS volume, though, gives everyone access to a massive shared library. You just use whatever open shelf you can find. It's just a fundamentally more efficient way to use the space you actually have. So you're convinced, right? You want the flexible, modern approach. Let's walk through just how incredibly easy it is to add an APFS volume. This is the safe, recommended method you should absolutely be using.
It's so simple, it takes just seconds. You'll open up Disk Utility, then you'll select your main drive. It's probably called Macintosh HD. Then just click that little plus sign button for volume. All you have to do is give it a name, like Work Files or Beta OS, make sure the format says APFS, and hit Add. And that's literally it. You're done. A brand new drive icon just appears on your desktop, ready to go instantly. There's no long, scary progress bar, no real risk, and it's already sharing all the available free space with your main drive.
Now, just so you know what you're avoiding, let's take a quick look at the old way. We'll see how you would create a partition. But I want to be perfectly clear, this is the risky and outdated method you should probably never use. So the process also starts in Disk Utility. But here you have to select the top-level physical drive itself, not the volume. Then you click Partition. Now this is where it gets sketchy. You have to decide on a fixed size, permanently locking that space away before you hit Apply.
And this is where the real danger is. I'm not just saying this. It's a direct warning. The process of creating a partition can take a very long time. And if anything interrupts it, like a power outage or a system crash, you could lose some or maybe even all of the data on your drive. Yikes!
So what's the final verdict here? Let's just summarize the key takeaways and then finish with one last, absolutely critical warning that every single Mac user needs to hear.
The recommendation is crystal clear. For any modern Mac, you should always choose to add APFS volume. It's faster, it's way safer, and it's infinitely more flexible. The only time you should even think about a partition is for a very specific technical reason, like installing Windows with Boot Camp. For anything else, it's APFS volume all the way.
But here is the final, vital piece of information you need to get. Whether you add a flexible volume or you build a rigid partition, you are still just drawing lines on a single, physical hard drive. And neither of these methods is a backup.
If that physical drive fails, everything is gone. Your main files, your new volume, all of it.
So, by all means, go add that new APFS volume and get your files organized. It's the smart and safe thing to do for your workflow. But as you do, it leaves us with one final, crucial question to think about. Your drive is now perfectly organized, but is it actually backed up?